Welcome back, traders. My name is Manuel Fonseca. Welcome to Smart Habits. In today's video, we're gonna see why discipline is built outside the charts. So if this is the first time you watch one of my videos, I kindly suggest you to subscribe to my channel, in which I just gonna explain to you trading tips, discuss finances as a traders, and smart money concepts execution, because this is the strategy I use for my trading. So let's start with today's video. So it says that the myth of charge discipline, and this is something that we need to be aware about this profession. It is that we need to be super disciplined, and it's just what we say is that I just need to be more disciplined while trading. But this is what most of us believe at a certain point, that discipline happens during the execution, better focus fixes bad trades, and more screen time builds control. But this belief keeps traders stuck, right? And that's something that actually delays a lot my process, because I thought basically was just part of the execution of the trading, or the fact of studying the trading concepts, but it was just that part of my life, like my part of my life in which I just sit and study, sit and debug testing, and sit and I start trading itself. But then I realized that discipline is all. But let's go to next. Why discipline failed in the moment? And this is the thing. The chart is a high pressure environment, right? While trading, money is at risk, emotions are elevated, decisions are time sensitive, and this is the worst place to build discipline. You need to understand that this profession demands a lot of pressure, right? Decision making processes, and what is inside of you will portray on the markets, right? So this is where discipline plays a key factor in the execution of our orders, because when you're a disciplined person, it will portray in these difficult moments, or these high pressure moments, like the market actually is. And let's discuss what discipline actually is. So discipline is pre-commitment, as simple as that. Commitment is when you already are doing something, right? You know you have to do because you pre-commit for that thing. But the pre-commitment or doing the things is actually what is discipline. It means that true discipline means that rules decide in advance, so you already know what you're gonna do. They avoid stop losses and behavior automated by the structure. And also it will help you to have fewer decisions under pressure, right? Now, this pre-commitment will help you understand that once you have your rules, right, you need to be strong enough. And this is the most difficult part, that is follow the same rules you put on yourself, right? We're so good at following other people's rules, or parents' rules, the boss or boss's rules, the society rules, but not our own, right? And this is the most difficult thing, because we don't respect our own decisions. And this is, you see how deeply I'm going, but this is what actually is happening inside our minds. Now, once we add this, we will avoid stop losses, because with these rules, we will diminish the quantity of the stop losses we're gonna have. Our behavior will automate by our own structure, and these fewer decisions under pressure means that we will be in control of our own actions during the market. Now, discipline removes choice, no emotion, because the emotion will never leave us, never ever. But we will be able to execute correct decisions during our trading sessions. Now, where real discipline is built, and this is the thing, outside the charts. Discipline is built through daily routines, financial planning, trading schedules, risk rules written before trading. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about this. So daily routines is as it is. If you commit yourself to have a proper daily routine, a healthy daily routine, you will understand the power of that, because you can start seeing that consistency during in your behavior in your daily life. And the same consistency you see in your daily life is the same consistency you will see in the markets, right? Because the market is a reflection of who you are. Now, financial planning is also part of it, because as I said in some of the videos, if you have good financial personal planning, or you budget yourself properly in your personal finances, you're likely to will have the same discipline or eagerness to do the same while you're trading with your accounts. And trading schedules also means that if you have as your routine certain moments where you're going to execute orders, not every day, not just, for example, you're talking to your friends and you start executing orders, or it's just a Saturday and you start looking for opportunities in the market. No, if you schedule your trading, right, or your trading moments, it is part of the discipline, as well as the risk rule rating. I mean, the risk rules that you must have as your risk management of your account size. It's the same thing. Okay. So if you see, discipline is part, is a it's something that is goes throughout all your life, right? And shapes the person that you are, in other words, right? Execution is a result, not the process. And we need to understand this. Every day that we execute, it could be our trades or daily tasks inside our own discipline frame, right? That is what will give us the result. And that day of execution will lead us to a second day of execution, to the third day of execution, that then during several days, weeks, month becomes the process. And then that process becomes as well the final result of us. And how this affect the smart money execution? Smart money concepts or any other type of trading strategy or system requires patience. Okay, without structure, you anticipate instead of wait. Your force entries. You trade every setup you see. And please, if that rings a bell, it also has happened to me. Okay, so there were many times that I just put orders just because I anticipate the movement, and then it took me to stop loss. I force entries, which means I over justify or just justifying more than usual an order. You trade every setup you see because there are plenty of opportunities in the market every time you see it, and then you're just doing multiple things, right? You're not doing actually a disciplined process right here. And the structure outside the charts protects smart money logic or your own logic when you execute orders in the market, right? So bear this in mind because it's paramount to improve the quality of your execution. So I'm gonna give you some examples outside the short rules, okay? Just to have in mind. So simple to powerful, as simple as that. Examples, it could be maximum trades per day, mandatory pause after losses, fixed trading hours, not trade days during stress. These are really important. So I'm gonna give you an example with myself. Maximum trades per day, maximum I put two, maximum three trades per day, right? A mandatory pause after a loss. If I have two consecutive losses in the same days, I'm just get out of the market. Simple as that. I don't want to expose more money because a third loss will mean for me psychological effects. So I don't want that. Fixed trading hours. I trade New York session. It opens at 8 o'clock New York time, kind of. So I'm always 30 minutes before that. So I do a pre-market check and I'm there paying attention and waiting for the opportunity. I never trade in Asia session or London. Sometimes London if I'm able to, not it's not often when I do that. Never or at the end of the New York session, never, right? So I have fixed trading hours and not trade days during the stress. For example, some days I think 2 days ago, I was feeling a little bit upset. My stomach was upset. I didn't want to trade, right? So I simply decided not to trade those days. Or for example, if I get late to the market, let's say if I schedule a proper time, let's say 7:30 a.m. to execute orders at New York time, but I am started or I have time at 9 a.m. Definitely I won't execute orders there. Why? Because that will add stress to me, right? And I will be like chasing opportunities. No way. So if I'm late, I don't trade. So do this if you haven't set up this type of rules for yourself aside the charts. I kindly suggest you to do it, right? These rules protect your consistency, and definitely those has done or those have improved dramatically my trading execution. So I suggest you to do that because definitely it will help you a lot. And this is this is something interesting, but why most traders resist to this? Okay, why? Why? Because it feels actually very boring. Traders resist because structure feels restrictive, discipline is mistaken for talent, right? And chaos feels productive. And yeah, so when you say to some people that you're a disciplined person, they see you as a square type person, that you're boring, a boring person, in other words, right? If you are mature enough to understand that discipline, it's what gives you the liberty because, or the freedom that you want. Why? Because you are the same person who puts that discipline into yourself. No one is forcing you. So if you feel forced to follow your own rules, change them, right? Just change the rules in a way you feel comfortable, productive, right? And if you force yourself to follow your own rules, because are you the one who create those rules for yourself? I don't see any type of resentment because you're just choosing for you. That's to be disciplined, right? Discipline is mistaken for talent. Discipline is definitely one of the best talents someone can develop, and you can do it from now, right? And yeah, chaos feels very productive because you're doing multiple things, the multitasking. Maybe you say I'm actually very productive, but you're not doing more is not doing what you actually need to do. Now, consistency is built on repetition, not an excitement. And this is what we need to understand. Okay, repetition is the motor of any skill. And if you want to develop this skill, you need to repeat this every single day. So commit yourself to develop a set of rules for yourself and repeat them at least for 2 weeks, and you will see how you will see the impact that it will have in yourself, in your emotions, in your self-confidence, in the ability of feeling yourself on control of your own life, because you're doing what you actually want to do for you in your own terms. Now, the bigger picture here, great execution is byproduct, right? When discipline exists outside, anxiety decreases, confidence increases, execution improves naturally. You don't force discipline, you inherit it. And as I said before, this is what will help you get better and better in your daily execution, and not just that, but in your entire life. Now, remember the next. If you want discipline, build systems, not just motivation, this channel is for you. At Smart Money, I will help you with the smart money concepts, trading structure, consistency, execution. So if you really like this type of content I'm creating, please let me know that. And of course, subscribe if you want to trade with clarity and control. And before we watch the market, send this video to a friend of you that is the same position and maybe needs discipline, right? If you have any further questions, please leave me a comment right here. I will be so glad to check them and read them and revise this presentation. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to this video, my friends, and see you in the next one. Okay.